Okay, I know I said we were back, and then instead it kind of looked like it was over, but I think this time we're actually back. Hello, my name's Sam, and I like soccer. Thank you for clicking on this video, and today I'm going to talk about St. Louis City beating NYCFC 2-0. And this is really the game that St. Louis City fans have been waiting for a long time. We dominated from the first whistle and looked like the better team for the entire 90 minutes. And the first pregame note I have is that both Parker and Nilsson were back in the starting lineup. The knocks that they both received in the past few games were really just tightness, and we were just taking precaution. And that's the only bright side of not being in the CONCACAF Champions Cup anymore, is that those injuries and the rotation won't have to play as much of a factor into the starting lineup for these MLS regular season games anymore. And going back to Parker, he made his presence felt immediately. A great tackle in the defensive end leads to a Pompeo chance in the offensive end, and he rings it off the post early. And Pompeo, Jackson, and Vasilev were all linking up so incredibly well. This is the best this team has looked in a long time. I tweeted out before, but I think this was the best half and full game of soccer that this team has played since last September when we beat Kansas City 4-1. Another harmless buildup in the middle from those players leads to an AZ Jackson chance that hits the other post. So while there's no goals yet in this game, we are the ones with the better chances. We're ringing off the post. It's just going to take a few more chances to get the ball in. And that's something I always hate, right? When you're playing like the better team, it's so hard to score in soccer. You can go a full 45 minutes and not score a goal, yet you dominated the half. Going into halftime up 1-0 is incredibly important, especially when you're dominating the game. You don't want to give the other team a break and let them back in the second half, which is something I was worried about. I mentioned in my past few videos that the beginning of the half, those first 10 minutes, it's really taken this team a while to settle in, but that didn't happen this time. Both the first half and the second half, St. Louis was locked in early. And it's at the end of that first half that City gets their first goal, this one from Cero Pompeo, who takes an excellent shot after a run through the middle of the field, picking out the bottom corner and beating the goalkeeper. And this goal is a product of that sustained pressure that this team has become known for through their first season of MLS. Beating guys to the first ball, not letting there be a second touch. I mean, we were swarming the team. And Celio getting the ball in the midfield, making an excellent run and picking out a great shot. This team has shooters. I mean, AZ Jackson, Cero Pompeo. Indiana Vasilev has had a lot of good shots in his career with St. Louis City, but not found the back of the net as successfully. But I mean, having all of these options is just amazing. And having those guys like Klaus and Adeniran that you know are going to take a great first shot, and then those guys right behind him, AZ Jackson, Pompeo, that are going to take a good second shot. I mean, this team is actually deep. We haven't played like it yet this season, but this first half has shown me that we can. And it's not gone, and the magic is not lost yet. We are so back. Speaking of guys taking those second shots, Chris Durkin, I don't think, had a super good game. Every single time he had the ball in the offensive third, he just made the bad decision. He took a lot of shots himself, and almost every single one sailed clear over the net. I mean, he was nowhere close. So I like to see him take better decisions, maybe cross the ball in, whip it in, or just make better shots. You can't be taking shots like that in the game. I hope he cleans that up. My only other note about the first half is that NYCFC only had one single shot on goal, which Berkey made a great body blocking save on. He's solid as a rock. That's what we've become accustomed to. Nothing really to say about him. He's given us stellar performances night in and night out. He's looked great this season so far. And like I said, the second half starts and this team is playing with the same amount of intensity that they started the game with, which is amazing. And that link-up play between those three players, Jackson, Vasilev, and Pompeo, it looks great, but Sam Adeniran up to this point has been a touch slow to the ball. And even though we're up 1-0, it looks like we could be up 3 or 4. Something else I have to say is that Nilsson and Parker look so good. The rest they got, I guess, was needed because they were incredible tonight. They were sturdy. Nilsson was making great recovery tackles. Parker as well. I mean, those guys look like one of the best center back pairing tandems in MLS right now. I'm just very excited to see how good this backline can get. We were not great defensively last season. We were okay. Nothing amazing, but adding Nilsson to an already really great center back in Tim Parker and having guys like Josh Yarrow, Kyle Hebert, and Michael Wenzel now as depth pieces and rotation guys instead of starters, that just makes the whole team better. So Nilsson has already made an incredible impact on this team, and I cannot wait to see just how good this defense can get. Klaus comes in for Indiana Vasilev, who was on a yellow at this point in the game, but I think he had a really good game. Like I said, his link-up and build-up play between AZ Jackson and Pompeo was pretty stellar this game. Everyone just looked like they were firing off all cylinders. And another note I wrote down is that Klaus just turned 27 this week. Are you joking? But no, he is one of our best strikers on the team, if you can believe that. So happy birthday, Klaus. You don't look a day over 40. Sam Adeniran has another great touch-and-go run to himself, and he almost takes that in for a shot on goal from midfield, and he's starting to wake up. Just a few moments later, Celio Pompeu has a wonderful assist. Sam Adeniran takes that feathered pass and rifles it above the keeper. It's 2-0 St. Louis. And this is what Sam Adeniran can do. He looked a little slow all night, but once he got his touch, all it took was one kick, right? It took one shot for him to change the game. He is that kind of player. Him and Klaus are both that kind of player. We didn't know we had that in Sam Adeniran. It was a little scary transferring Nico Gioacchini and all 10 of his goals overseas, but having another player that is capable of putting up big numbers this season, and it's one who stepped up, who was a depth piece for us last year. In baseball terms, I'd call that a bonus piece, but Sam Adeniran, this has been his upward trajectory since joining the team. Super happy for him. Great goal. He made his impact on the game tonight for sure. Late in the game, Durkin is playing very physically. He takes a foul, which is a yellow card, but on the way down, Sams, the defender, sticks up his leg and catches Durkin in the gut. It goes to VAR, he gets a red card, and NYCFC are down to 10 men in the 82nd minute. And they turn it on just a little bit. They have a series of corners, but it's nothing that Berkey and the backline can't handle. And this is something I really like from Klaus. After one of those corners, the ball comes out, and he has a chance to take it all the way in for a shot and potentially a goal himself, but instead, at the midfield line, he kind of just hangs onto the ball and waits to be fouled. He puts his body in a position to be fouled and wastes a lot of time and move the entire team up. Instead of taking that moment for himself, he puts the team first. And that's a move that I appreciate. That's a move that I'm sure the rest of this fan base appreciates, that he was thinking that, oh, I can take a minute off the clock right now and get this thing over with instead of trying to take a shot, and then NYCFC gets the ball back. Although he wasn't in this game for very long, that's an impact move and an unselfish move that I love. And the last thing I have to note here is Dyer makes his MLS debut. He didn't really get enough time to showcase anything. I have no notes about him, but I'm excited to see him when the time comes for him later on. And that's it. St. Louis wins in dominant fashion, and the vibes are back up. My last few videos have been bummers, right? US Open Cup news not fun. Losing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup in a game where we weren't even trying to score. I mean, those are not fun things to talk about, but I'm glad this team has given us performance to be proud of, to be happy about, to look forward to the future with. And that guy Sam with the gray jersey, the spirit kit, I mean, what a loser. I mean, I don't want to see him ever again, right? I want to see Sam in the red kit, in the city kit. That one's exciting. I like to be Sam in the city kit. So yeah, here's to hoping for more city kit Sams in the future and less spirit kit Sams. And for the player report card, the player of the game, I thought about giving it to Adeniran. I thought about giving it to Nilsson as well, but it goes to Celio Pompeu. 1 goal, 1 assist, great build-up play. He looked amazing. This was kind of his breakout game. So he gets a star in my grade book. Can't wait to see him add to that. And yeah, just a wonderful game. A lot of fun. 2 goals. It's the first time I scored 2 goals in these first 4 games. And another shutout from Berkey. So no complaints. Nothing to complain about. Wonderful performance from everyone all around. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.